Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to break down the sheer visual power of a highly dramatic, cinematic reenactment of a famous 19th century chess match. But listen, we aren't just looking at the moves on the board here. No, we're dissecting exactly how the scene is constructed to make you feel the pressure, the stakes, and the ultimate triumph. We're talking about how lighting, pacing, and focus can literally transform a quiet tabletop game into an absolute thriller.
So picture this. A dimly lit, historic London cafe. You can almost smell the old wood and the burning wax, right? The director doesn't just drop us into some bright, sterile tournament hall. Instead, we are plunged right into this hushed, brooding space. It instantly sets a mood of secrecy, intellect, and intense quiet conflict, long before a single piece has even been moved.
Section 1. The Victorian London Setting.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these specific atmospheric elements work together to create this grounded historical realism. We've got the 19th century era firmly established through the heavy Victorian attire worn by the two men. There's this tactile, classic wooden chessboard resting heavily on a wooden table. And enveloping the whole shebang is that warm, moody, candlelit lighting. It's brilliant, really, because it forces our focus inward, trapping our attention exactly where the player's attention is trapped, right on the center of that board.
Moving right along to Section 2, Capturing the Human Tension. Let's see how this builds, because a great cinematic scene relies completely on visual escalation. The sequence deliberately starts wide, right? Just establishing the two men at the wooden table. Then, it pushes in. We get these tight close-ups. From there, the action speeds up entirely, with pieces just flying off the board, ultimately leading us directly into a final, dramatic close-up. It's a highly calculated camera sequence, designed specifically to take a stationary game and inject it with thrilling momentum.
Just look at the incredible sensory details here. The camera doesn't just lazily show us two guys playing a game. No way. We see the tense expressions. We see the very real sweat literally beating up on a forehead. We watch hands strategically, almost painfully, moving the pieces. These physical reactions totally mirror the slow, brooding tension of the mental battle happening invisibly between them. You can literally see the mental gymnastics taking a physical toll.
And this brings us to a really fascinating contrast. On one hand, we have that slow, brooding tension, the hushed room, the sweat, the deep, intense focus. But then, suddenly, that is violently contrasted with chaotic editing. The pacing accelerates rapidly. We're thrown into these fast-paced montages showing pieces being aggressively captured. This abrupt shift in pacing completely transforms the narrative from a quiet intellectual standoff into an absolute battlefield. Why? Because rapid cuts subconsciously disorient you, the viewer, perfectly mirroring the psychological collapse of a losing strategy.
Which brings us to Section 3, Aggressive Mid-Game Montage.
Okay, so during this fast-paced montage, the board is just absolutely decimated. We see major, incredibly powerful pieces being aggressively captured and removed from the game. Rooks? Gone. Even a queen? Taken. I mean, losing these major pieces signals massive, almost unbelievable risk. Someone is sacrificing their most valuable assets, and visually, you feel the weight of those devastating losses.
So think about this for a second. How exactly does a director turn two guys sitting at a table playing a quiet board game into an aggressive, thrilling spectacle? Well, the answer lies in that deliberate use of aggressive, rapid editing, combined with the visual shock of those high-stakes sacrifices we just talked about. You feel the aggressive momentum because the camera and the editing absolutely force you to feel it.
And that sets the stage for Section 4, the legendary checkmate reveal. Out of all that chaos, after losing the queen, after losing the rooks, only 3 minor pieces are left to secure the victory. Just 3. It really highlights the sheer unexpectedness of the board's final state. I mean, after a massive barrage of heavy losses, the surviving army is shockingly small.
And this brilliantly illustrates the trap. Look closely at the final dramatic matchup here. The victors? A lone bishop and 2 knights. The defeated? The opponent's king, completely surrounded. The director purposely chooses a tight shot of this highly unlikely and specific configuration to emphasize the brilliant trap that has just been sprung. So, the crucial point here is the amazing contrast at play. This unexpected checkmate, which is a truly legendary victory, by the way, is achieved with total minimalism. The player aggressively sacrificed their major pieces, their queen, the rooks, only to turn around and surround the opponent's king with just a lone bishop and 2 knights. It is an absolute masterclass in misdirection, both by the chess player executing the moves and the filmmaker framing the shot.
Which beautifully brings the entire scene full circle, delivering an unexpected and legendary checkmate filmed in warm, moody candlelit lighting. This massive climax isn't celebrated with flashing lights or a cheering crowd. It's delivered and filmed right back in that exact same warm, moody lighting that we started with. The atmosphere reclaims the scene, providing perfectly structured narrative closure to a fiercely fought battle. The environment witnessed the whole thing, from slow tension to aggressive chaos, right back to a quiet, legendary checkmate.
It really makes you appreciate the profound power of visual storytelling, doesn't it? Which leaves me with a final thought for you to ponder today. What everyday, quiet moments in our own lives could be transformed into a thrilling spectacle just with a shift in lighting, a change in pacing, and a tighter focus. Think about how the framing of your own experiences changes the narrative. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep looking closely at the details around you.